Hi, and welcome to Sci-Fi Fans. And this week, I'd just like to talk about Ahsoka. Season episode 3 has been shown, and yeah, I'll be sharing my thoughts on this particular Disney Plus show a little bit later on. Um, but what do you think? I mean, leave me a comment. Are you enjoying it? Have you watched it yet? And just yeah, I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this particular show, given the fact that some of the other Disney stuff has been, it's not been well received, shall we say. The viewing figures have been quite low. Now, what does that say going forwards for Star Wars Disney? I don't really know, to be honest, but that's why we're here. We're here to speculate and to see just what is what. So, without further ado, I'm Wayne, and this is Sci-Fi Fans, and you can watch me here most Fridays on either YouTube or TikTok. So, as I say, this week's chat is going to be Disney, Star Wars, and in particular Ahsoka. Now, said it again, 3 episodes of Ahsoka have dropped, and we got a double bill last week where we could watch episode 1 and 2 together. And then we have got episode 3 this week. It came out on Wednesday. um, yeah, I'm sitting on the fence with this one. It has potential to grow and be a really good, decent Star Wars show. Something that we've been missing for a while, other than Andor. For me, on Disney Plus, the main standout Star Wars show has been Andor. Excuse me. Which is a little bit of a surprise, really. I wasn't expecting Andor to be as detailed and intriguing as it is. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a story about a character that we already know what happens to him. This is the problem with prequels: is you know what's going to happen, and they can't change that law. They can't change the history, because once they start changing the history of the character, you then come into all sorts of continuity problems. This is something I feel that they've done um, with Marvel, and of course, forgotten the character's name now. Nick Fury. Now, we were led to believe in one of the Avenger films that Nick Fury lost his eye in quite serious circumstances. Miss Marvel comes out, and it turns out that he lost his eye through getting scratched in the face by a cat. Not very serious there. And this is the problem with prequels. However, Ahsoka is set after the events of Return of the Jedi, and it's in the same universe as Mandalorian. And the biggest issue that I have with Ahsoka is my main link to Star Wars is I grew up on the original trilogy, and I've only really delved into the cinematic universe. I haven't read the books, although apparently some of them are really good. I did go through one of the comics when it came out, and that was Dark Empire by Dark Horse, which was a really good story. Um, and that's really about as much of the expanded universe with Star Wars that I've delved into. I have watched probably the first season and a half of Rebels. Now, I did try and watch Clone Wars, but I didn't really like the animation style. I didn't like how it told the story. It was too, for me, it was too bitty. Now, because it didn't flow. It'd be every episode you'd be catching up. You'd have a little prologue, a little thing that happened previously that was off screen, and then you delve into the particular episode. Yeah, that it didn't hold my interest. What is holding my interest at the moment on Disney Plus is X-Men. I've gone back to the X-Men series from, it was a bit earlier than 97, but I believe it finished in 97. And I'm really enjoying that because I loved it when it came out originally, and it is nice to have the full season. I think there's 4 or 5 seasons back to back, and you can sit down and watch them all, which is pretty cool. So, getting on to Ahsoka, I'm finding it quite boring. Now, there's a lot of scenes where Ahsoka and Ren, is it Ren, just stand looking at each other, and we're expected to get entertainment out of that. Uh, and Ray Stevens, I think probably yeah, is Ray Stevens. His character uh, is very interesting. There's a bit of intrigue there, and his apprentice. His apprentice is a little bit wooden, I feel, but those two characters are a lot more interesting, I find, than Ahsoka. The incident in the first episode where Ahsoka gets the ball from the chamber. I mean, it wasn't clearly thought out, was it? You've got a puzzle. Now, if this had been Tomb Raider, there'd have to be a series of patterns on the floor to digest, or perhaps you'd have to swing from one pole to another pole to a lever. But no, all Ahsoka has to do is go into this chamber, study a plinth, spin the top of it round till it matches, and if you watch the episode again, it clicks into place. So there's no real thinking here. Anybody could just go into that chamber, spin the plinths around, spin the top of the plinths around, and get the puzzle. So there isn't any mystery there. The fact that she managed to do that in the first 10 minutes at a very slow pace, yeah. And this, I think, is the problem that Ahsoka is going to have, is the pace. It's slow. There's no intrigue, and we knew Kathleen Kennedy wanted to create this super female force universe with Star Wars, but Star Wars wasn't about that. Star Wars had plenty of good, in-depth characters that were more than just a particular agenda or something. And this is something that Kathleen Kennedy seems to have done with the entire Star Wars franchise, is just built and put in a agenda to it, which wasn't necessary. And I'll probably get a few comments saying that, oh, you don't like it because of this, that, and the other. Someone's bound to say, oh, you don't like this because it's got women in it and they're strong female leads. To which I'd just say, well, my favourite film of all time is Aliens. So yeah, you could get much more of a strong female character than Sigourney Weaver and Ellen Ripley. So my review really, the cinematography is good. I think that they have thrown an awful lot of money at the special effects to a degree. So we're bringing up to date with episode 3 of Ahsoka. So there will be spoilers. So if you're watching this and you haven't seen Ahsoka, I am going to be talking this week's episode and spoiling it. So Ahsoka ends up at this planet where they're building. I thought initially that they were building Starkiller 1, at least the outer shell of it, but no, they're using the hyperdrive motors, and it's kind of leaning towards the fact that they're going to be going off to where Thorn is on the other side of the universe. What I found a little bit disappointing was the lack of attention to detail. Now, with the fight scene that we have with Ahsoka and her ship, the explosions in space just weren't realistic. I know if you go back into the New Hope, then the explosions in that, you could say they weren't realistic then, but they were made in the 70s, early 80s, where technology wasn't as much as what it is now. But and I could get, you have an explosion in space, lots of flames, things going everywhere. It looks really impressive on screen. I get that, and I enjoy that. What I didn't like were the tufts of smoke that just appeared. So when they're firing, they're going through these like flak. There's just these bits of smoke and clouds, which you wouldn't have in space. They wouldn't form or shape the way that they did in Ahsoka. And I know it's not real. I know we've got to look at this and give it some kind of leeway and expectation. Realism goes out the window a little bit. It's science fiction and everything else. But it's the small details, it's the attention to detail that I think is what's lacking with Ahsoka. So yeah, I mean, I'm prepared to give it a go. I'm not going to turn around and say that don't bother watching it. We're only 3 episodes in, we are halfway through. I would give it. I'm going to see it all the way through from start to finish. Opinion on Ava Max. In what regard? What's she been up to? She's the isn't she the blonde one? I've not listened to her music. Probably showing my age. So what's she known for? Okay. I've just been asked about Ava Max. Don't really know her, to be honest. Elisa Rose. Don't really know. Don't know her music. As I say, I'm probably showing the age. So yeah, I think so far I'm finding Ahsoka disappointed. It's just so slow. It's got potential. It has definitely got potential, and it is a shame that Ray Stevens has passed away, because so far he is the standout point of Ahsoka. 2 times 10 is 20. Okay. So yeah, I mean, in the meantime, Hollywood is absolutely. What is my favourite singer? I am going to show my age, but I like a lot of stuff from the 80s and early 90s. So pretty much anyone from there. Belinda Carlisle is one of my favourite singers. She's got a fantastic voice, but she's not really. She's gone a little bit off the boil recently, but then everyone does, don't they? Oh, thank you. Thank you for the gifts. Big and relax. Thank you. You don't have to. It's appreciated. But the best way you can support the channel, as I say to everybody, is just watch the videos and interact with the videos. You don't have to send gifts or anything like that. Just interact with the video and share. If you like the content, like and share. And join me on YouTube as well. Weekly podcast goes out. This week's episode is I'm starting the Harry Potter franchise on the podcast this week. When I say this week, I mean coming out on Monday, where I'll be discussing the first 2 films, and I'll be doing a little bit more recording for the podcast and YouTube as well. I haven't had anything come back from TikTok. They put a copyright claim on one of my videos for music. Now, on the actual video itself, there was no music. It was just me talking about films, and somehow that got a copyright claim on it. So, go figure. So how are we doing with the writers and actors strike? I think this is something that is going to totally change Hollywood once it's all settled. I think there's going to be very few studios around, and very few actors and actresses, and it's the people behind the scenes that don't get the praise that are going to suffer most, because I think they're already going to start cutting back on the content that they make. Disney has never made a profit with Disney Plus. Amazon, Netflix, well, probably Amazon as well, are both in decline, because they've had this push for content and not quality. The quality control for streaming platforms have gone out the window, with the odd exception. Now, I watched an interesting video about Netflix saying that the bubble has burst effectively, and that they're now starting to lose subscribers. Thank you for the follow, big and the lads, big B and the lads. So yeah, I think with all these streaming services, the subscription base is going to plateau. It's going to level off, and then they'll find where their true audience is. The thing that concerns me about Netflix is they haven't had many outstanding major hits. They've had some, but their biggest hit on the platform is Stranger Things. And that's coming to an end with the next season. I've watched it. I think it's a fantastic show. It's very well written. I love the cast. Bobby Brown, Millie Bobby Brown, I think is a fantastic actress, and I love her in the other things that she's done, such as Godzilla. The rest of the cast, I'm not too sure. I haven't really seen them do other things as much. But I've got to say, I think when Stranger Things does come to an end, Netflix is going to be in a real sticky situation, because not only will that be ending, but Cobra Kai is going to be finishing in the next season. I think it's going to be season 5. What else has Netflix got that has got the appeal that those two shows have? At the moment, I'm not seeing anything, and it's going to take probably 18 months, 2 years, traditionally that sort of time period, for them to come up with something else. However, with the writers and actors strike going on, I can see it being a little while longer, maybe 3 or 4 years, before Netflix has another big hit, particularly great show on its hands. By which time, if they continue to lose subscribers, then will Netflix still be a viable option? Because they started off initially making, initially they started off with, I think it was like I Love Film. So what they would do is rent films out and just show purely films, and didn't make any of their own content. They also had a lot of content from other manufacturers like BBC, CBS, and had a big pool of shows like Friends. Friends was on Netflix. Then they started to create their own stuff, which was great. And then all those other big studios started to pull their stuff. I think the rush to go for streaming platforms is going to come crashing down in the next 5 years. Whereas everybody seems to think that streaming is the way forward, it's not. The way to make money with films and content is on the big screen. We had that period 2 years ago, over 2 years ago. You know what I'm talking about. It's very difficult to say exactly what you think on these platforms, because they are monitored, they are censored, and if you say the wrong thing, that's it, you're cut short. But you know what I mean. That period after 2019, when the whole world went to poo, that caused a big problem for the industry, because people weren't going to the cinema. Everybody jumped on the streaming bandwagon because they felt that was the future. But it's not, and it can't be when a company like Disney can't make a profit out of Disney Plus. That tells you there's something wrong with the format. As a customer, though, it's great. And this is where I think Disney, where it doesn't work for Disney, for example, with their films, why would you go and pay? For a family of 4, it costs approximately £100 to go to the cinema. Now that might sound overinflated, but it's not. Adult tickets are around about £20. So 2 adults, that's £40. A child ticket, £15, well, that's £45. The food is astronomical as well. You can take your own, but when you go as a family, we'll make it that family event. Especially when you've got kids, they're going to want to buy something there. So it can cost up to £100 to go and watch a film. if you know for a fact, as we do with Disney, that that film's going to be coming onto your streaming platform in the next 4 or 5 months, when you can watch it in the comfort of your own home without some noisy, inconsiderate person. Again, I want to say something else, but munching on crisps, popcorn, and everything else. Why? That's a waste of money. I go to the cinema to be immersed in the experience and not to sit there scoffing my face with a 12-pack of crisps, which somebody did. No word of a lie. 2 seats down from me, when we went to see Spider-Man Far From Home, there was a guy there that was large. He took up 2 seats, and he had a 24-pack of crisps and scoffed the lot throughout the film, and all I heard was thank you for sharing the view. Yes, I do have a family. Got a wife and daughter. Thank you. So it costs a fair amount of money to go to the cinema, and this is the issue. Hollywood is not producing quality content like they used to. Everything has to have an agenda. Everything has to have a message. The films that don't have that are really thriving. Look at the Tom Cruise films. Now, when he done Top Gun, it was based purely on entertainment. What movie did we always watch? There isn't one particular film that we always watch. I like Aliens, which is why you can see the xenomorph face hugger up here, and my wife likes Sleeping Beauty. The other one is Sleeping Beauty. Yeah. My wife likes Sleeping Beauty. The little girl enjoys anything with mermaids in, so we're quite a mixed variety. So it's very difficult to try and get us all to agree on one film. What we are trying to do, and what me and my wife do agree on, is we are trying to introduce my little girl to the Lord of the Rings. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the Lord of the Rings could be the family film. And that's all 3 of them that go in for like 15 hours. But yeah. So you have all these big studios that invested a lot of money into streaming, but when the viewership is down, they're not making the money. The real money is in Hollywood with those big hits. I mean, Top Gun with Tom Cruise, over £1 billion gross worldwide. You know, that's the sort of money that keeps these studios going. Quite long, but yeah, Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I have, and Rachel Zegler. Oh, what an entitled woman, if I can call her a woman. Yeah, what an entitled human being. There's a clip of her on strike, and basically she says something like, and this is just I'm paraphrasing it. If I'm going to stand in a dress for 16 hours a day, and I need to be paid for every single hour that this movie is streamed, yeah, what a self-centered, me actress. And it's not Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Where are the dwarfs? You know, the whole story was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and they're not, they're bandits. Or at least they look like bandits, with one dwarf, so they've got a token dwarf. No, I'm not, I wouldn't watch it. I haven't watched the only, I'm trying to think now, I've watched 2 of the Disney live action remakes. Thank You for the Roses. You honestly don't have to send it. Honestly. The only 2 live action remakes of Disney that I have watched are The Jungle Book and Dumbo. Now, Jungle Book, I wanted to go and watch because they didn't remake the cartoon. When they made the Jungle Book, they kept it more in line with the original book. So I knew it was going to be different. Dumbo, on the other hand, there was a little bit more of a family connection with watching Dumbo, and that was one of my cousins, was one of the children from the circus. So, yeah, I'm not sure how they got into it. I think it might have been they just chose his school, so I don't know. I don't know the full details, but yeah, one of my cousins was in Dumbo. And they're the only two live action remakes that I've watched. The rest of them, I've got no interest in. No, I don't. I don't know. I don't know. You're wrong. Yeah, they take the original idea, churn it through God knows what, and then produce the biggest pile of drivel going. And they change stories. Now, I know with Peter Pan, the Lost Boys are the Lost Boys. So, how is it she can come along and suddenly they're no longer the Lost Boys? You know? The original idea, the original story that the writer created has a certain charm. Once you start deviating from that charm, it's not the same story. I didn't see Lion King, although I have heard quite some good things about Lion King. The Lion King is one of the live action remakes that I can understand more because they also have it as a West End show. So in order to make that as a live action remake, I kind of get. The fundamental thing though with the Disney remakes is that they are only being remade because of copyright. Once a story gets to a certain age, it was the original idea, but they changed so many parts of it from the original. I just mentioned the Lost Boys. Did it come out in 2018? A bit later than that. Was it made in 2018? We'll have to check that out. Lost my train of thought now. Right. Yeah, but they changed the colour, some of the cars. Yeah, the Lion King, I can see that because that was a West End show. They've done a lot with Lion King. So I can understand why they would make it into a live action, but it's copyright. Once a certain story, once you've written the story, the writer of that story owns the copyright until 70 years after their death. And this is something that is now affecting Disney because the original ideas and the original stories that they adapted are now coming into what's called public domain, which effectively means anybody can write a Snow White and call it Snow White. They don't have any ownership over the copyright. So Disney are coming into that tricky period where their intellectual properties they're losing copyrights for, and anybody can come up with it. That is why we're seeing all of them being remade into live action, because they then hold onto the copyright. What they're also doing is using trademark to make sure that nobody else can copy that IP as well. And there has been cases in America where the judges are saying that the purpose of trademarking is being abused by content creators. This is also the rights to Peter Pan are not actually held by Disney. They are held by the Great Ormond Street Hospital in London. So anything to do with Peter Pan is done purely with their consent. Now, they done an interesting thing a few years ago, and this might have been what gave Disney the idea to remake their thank you for the gifts. Honestly, you don't have to. Honestly, thank you. There's maybe the reason why Disney suddenly caught onto the bandwagon and remaking all of their movies. I think it was about 2015, 2010, 2015. The ownership of the copyright for Peter Pan was coming to an end, and it would have gone into public domain. Great Ormond Street actually held a competition for somebody to write a sequel to Peter Pan. Thus, once that was published, they would then carry on the ownership of the copyright for Peter Pan. This is potentially something that Disney probably looked at and thought, oh, hang on a minute, we can do this. Now, the first character that Disney lost the copyright for was actually Mickey Mouse. So there you go. That's a Sci-Fi Fans, by the way, if you're interested. So I think that's why they've kind of snowballed and piled on all of these live action remakes, because once they lose that copyright, that goes into public domain, which technically is how Disney got these stories in the first place, through public domain, because again the copyright in the original story, the characters have expired. I haven't seen Dungeons and Dragons yet. It is on my wish list. Now, I've got Now TV in the UK, and I believe it's come to Now TV, so I will be watching it. The last film I actually watched, can't remember. To be honest, the only thing I've been watching is the original X-Men series, or I've been making content for YouTube, TikTok, and podcast, as well as actually writing my own science fiction books. So yeah, I wouldn't sit here. I'm not the type of person to sit here and criticise content creators without actually giving it a bash myself. And if anybody's interested, you can go to Amazon and find my books on there. And if you've got the Kindle Unlimited program, you can download it for free. I get paid per page read, and that would really help out. I was supposed to keep. No, this is me. There we go. Right. So yeah. This is what you're looking for. It's the first edition. And in this version, there are so under 200 pages. 175 pages. Go to the website. All the links are there. Broken Sci-Fi. I am working on the sequel, which is Return Fire. So yeah, Broken Sci-Fi. TikTok loves to mess about the options. Mirror your video. There we go. Yeah, that's. Now it hasn't got that cover. That is the first edition. And if anyone wants first edition copies, I've got about 20 left. So otherwise, it's available on the Amazon Bookstore Kindle program. So check it out. Download a copy for free. So yeah, and the inspiration for the story was basically I just got fed up with all the sequels, prequels, and I wanted as original as you can get when it comes to storytelling. How much do I get per page? Probably 0.05 pence. Amazon are really generous when it comes to paying yeah, I think if somebody reads a complete book, I make about 30p. But what I'm more interested in is people actually reading it and enjoying it. And leave a review. If you read a book on Amazon and you've enjoyed it, then the best thing you can do is leave them an honest review. don't, if you know them, if you know the author, don't mention that in your review, because Amazon get a bit funny about things like that, and they that particular review, which is really quite ironic, given the fact that so many wanted to leave scathing reviews on the Rings of Power, and Amazon very cleverly and subtly binned half of those reviews. Right. I will just read a little bit here. So, Prycon, a creative Marine who had won many battles but suffered many losses, was making the most of the new era of peace with his wife. Life on Rakshan, a colonised moon, had finally settled after a relentless war. The Arctrons, a predator race, attacks an outpost and fragile peace begins to collapse once more. Reluctantly, Prycon will have to take up arms again. He leaves his wife behind for what he thought would be his last mission. The defence council was to believe the insult is a mere accident. Prycon and his team soon uncover that the accident is in fact the start of a wider conflict. Prycon's mission is simple: extract the newly discovered technology, return and annihilate the enemy. So it's science fiction, sci-fi, Humanity has been forced to abandon and set up colonies in the distant universe. They've come across a hostile race called the Arctrons, who are just basically they're the antagonists. They want to wipe out humanity. There is a second race of aliens. They also a little bit. Yeah, it's also a little bit like Battlestar Galactica. Heavily, I'd say the first book in there is probably heavily influenced by Battlestar Galactica, the original series. Couldn't really get into the and there is another race that they discover. Whether or not that alien race turns out to be friendly, I'll let you find out in the book. And so I'm writing the sequel. I've got two books. The other one is Xander's Salvation. So the plan is for me to finish off the first trilogy, which will be Broken Ceasefire, Turn Fire, and then possibly Crossfire. And then what I'm going to do is create and craft a lot more of the world and the world building, the war, why, for example, technology seems to have stalled, why things like hyperdrives aren't being used as frequently as they could be, what happened to cryogenics. Cryogenics is going to play a massive part in the plot with regards to why it's not being used and the effects that it's had on human body and human psyche. There are other various plot twists that I have got. They're hinting at that in the first book. There's a particular insect that can really help war against the Ultrons, and at the moment there's reasons why they haven't been effective. No, I haven't tried. I've just been asked over and I've tried hiring animator, and that's for the purpose of people like YouTube. I haven't. The main thing I want to do is focus on the story and wrap it up. Because the book that I've got on there, Xander's Salvation, is kind of like it is a prequel. And I want to use that to spend more of the lore. I have a third book that I could launch right now if I wanted to. But again, it's a prequel series. Now for that, I could write all these books, but I feel that it would confuse the reader because they would all be individual set in different time periods. So what I'd like to do is complete the Fire trilogy. I'm calling it. And then once that's done, I'm going to go back history, and develop a lot more of the world and the characters. So I think I'd like to hope the trilogy will be a satisfying story satisfying conclusion, then the history will be generated from the other books and really expand. And I've got a whole range of characters that are around. And I've started to delve into that Alexander's Salvation. Alexander's Salvation is obviously crew of the Salamander, which I'm hoping it's going to be it's a little bit more inspired by the Expanse. I don't know if anybody listening, watching has seen it. It was right. I think there's 5 or 6 seasons of it. Really great TV show, very serious, very realistic, grounding. What I liked about the Expanse, it had similar themes to Game of Thrones, but in space. And rather than have the White Walkers, we had this thing called the Proto-Molecule, which do something very similar to people. So what I'd like to develop the story, Salamander around. It's not going to be based on the Expanse. It's going to be influenced a little bit by the Expanse, because as a storyteller, there's only 6 or 7 different stories. Period. And I can't remember all of them, but they're things like those stories, those revenge, and love, then you have redemption, betrayal. So the things in that are all, there's only 6 types of story types. Tell difference with different activities, how to tell those stories, those characters, situations, and the world. So, and it's a bit like music as well. If you listen to new music, I think we've got to a point now where actually everything has been done, and every musical tune invented. Excuse me. So it's just finding the things that's happening. What do I do? I'm an assistant manager of virtual care. Thank you for asking. So with stories, you notice this. There are so many different films that come out, but if you break down those six story types, then you'll see the influences. So originality is more characters than the situations. The things that will change. So with the but I've done a little bit. I've worked it. So yeah, the residential home that I'm working in elderly, but I have done nearly 20 years residence for adults with learning disabilities, and we actually asked to be adopted. So being anything. So yeah, what I would like to do with Crew of the Salamander is have that bit like Expanse. So they're going to go off. They're going to save the universe, save the various different forms. All right. Cool. Yeah. That's all right. So that's the Crew of Salamander. Tango Squad is going to be heavily involved Tricon, but in the earlier part of his career. And this is what I mean. What these ideas different stories from tell. And I think that I need to concentrate on the 3 books, and then I can explore other avenues, characters. And it might be that in that exploration process, I come up with ideas and characters. The original idea with Brightcom was to have 9 books in total. Now, what I was going to do was have each individual trilogy tell a different part of the story. So the first trilogy essentially introductions, characters, universe, situation, finding you. Great, thank you. I have tried sketching. I'm terrible at it. The original, the first three books are introduction to the universe, and then they get to a certain point where it's satisfying. The story's not complete. Then the next three books are about how humanity regroups and they can discover and those three books come back and take back Primer Segment and the colonies, and then that'll be the foundation to do that. Then the following three are obviously key battles to take back the colonies and regain control. Primer Segment and Assat and a few of the other places have got Xander's one of the industrial planets in the universe. So yeah, that's how I had it in my mind. The nine books. The offshoots from that, obviously Dan Torah mentions the first two. She's got her own story to tell, and that would be an offshoot from that. Captain Scott also being I'll explain about the planet short. Captain Scott has also got his history and how he got to where he was. The moon planet is Primer Segment. It's the capital planet. It's approximately like an Earth planet. One or two moons. Coffee addict. Fire away with your quick question. So that's the main central planet. Do you like coffee? I don't mind coffee. More of a tea drinker. Thank you. So do I not? Well. I definitely am. Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. The Primer Segment is the main base of humanity. Now there are 11 other planets. See you later, coffee addict. Thank you for joining. There are 11 with different structures and systems. Xander, industrial world. So Xander's. This is where I'm plugging from the 40,000 planets that have different categories. So Xander, industrial world, which builds technology-based systems, the ships. They've got massive shipyard Xander, which needs to be protected at costs, and might be happy to Xander. So that's the industrial world. Xander now. Assat is an outer colony. They're not formed part of the main because they don't believe in the government system. So they've created their own unit, and they're more like monarchs. So they have their leader, king, queen, and their main faction, royalists. That's what they want to do. That's their institution. It's been joined here by Bandit. Now this is where Dan Torah's story will come into its own, because she wants her home planet back. As we did. And Assat is the first colony, the first planet to actually divide the Archons. What different being essentially mainly humans, but this is what I'm going to do the other books now, because space and travel and I'm just worried about the cats. Right, okay. He's such a stubborn little thing. Right. And he's gone. Nothing's
Happy to announce. Thank you. Just looks a little bit red. Doesn't it? No, I won't play any songs. They play music on their lives. Monty the author. Hi Monty. How are you going, mate? I've got because obviously gravity has effects. Human bodies, so they will be different. Kind of effects. So there's going to be effectively space elves, and space dwarves. That's going to be the thing, and they will be explain their own series of books. I can send you Ian, join me. I shall do that. I love your avatar there. Right, how do I do this? No, can't do it. Oh, how do I play? Yes, let's see that. Okay, mate, thank you. I won't forget to smile. I will try that. Fix it. There. Hiya, Monty. How's it going, mate?
It's going good.
That's all right.
It's doing UK episodes.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I film on Thursdays. So if I was doing the UK, I would do 8 o'clock GMT.
Okay.
Just on BST.
Well, what I'm doing, meaning to mention this to you anyway, is if I PM you my mobile, then we can do stuff through WhatsApp. If you want. All right.
Okay, so because my family are on WhatsApp.
Right.
And I just keep forgetting to do it. Well, it wasn't available in the US.
All right.
Like this years, I'm talking years ago.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to set up a UK episode.
Okay.
And because it'll be around Halloween, so I'm doing Sci-Fi.
Okay, cool.
Because there's not enough Sci-Fi. Not good.
No.
But I'm setting up the office ready for it.
Yeah.
My shelves have like Star Wars and
Right.
cast tape.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna tidy it.
Cool. Yeah, I'll send you my mobile number. And then thoughts on a soaker while you can.
Brilliant.
You haven't fallen asleep yet. Then.
What I'd like they gave us what they said. They said it was going to be an episode.
Yes.
And I like it. People can go to the season. I like it. I like the fact that the character was there was significance.
Yeah.
And she said it had to be, the witch and nothing here.
Right.
Which was cool. Like, I'm not a fan of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I do like the idea that the witch is nothing and being force magic.
Right.
And then we see this name of Jedi. Christ before it's not raised to white grade yet, because that needs to go away forever. I love the last episode. There were so many parallels between Luke and the Ahsoka.
Yeah.
You know, the helmet and the blue milk, and David Tennant doing the voice of I can't pronounce his name for the droid.
Yeah, the droid. Yeah, because obviously, I couldn't get into Clone Wars. I dabbled a little bit with probably about halfway through season 2. So the element I like about Ahsoka is Chopper. They've got Chopper. Pretty, I think, right.
Seriously crossing there. She looks so
Yeah.
There's a great character.
Yeah.
One line she just turns to the guy, and the guy, she's just like, did you fight?
Yeah.
You just went out and went. That was just a brilliant line from a true veteran. You know what I mean? She said that.
Yes, he did.
I'd like to see a bit less. I am on the force and the information from myself.
Yes.
I know she's matured and everything, but I do want to see a bit more of Ahsoka coming through.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. I am finding it a bit too slow paced at the moment. Yeah, I think for me the pace is a bit off. I wish there was a little bit more action, maybe 10 minutes having 10 minutes of characters looking at each other, which
conversation it's powerful dialogue and listening to the Star Wars.
Yeah.
So we had powerful dialogue with Andor. We had best dialogue of Star Wars.
And brilliant. Yeah.
We are seeing. I think what we see is a character from those watch. Who didn't watch Clone Wars, so there's characters, and the only taste they've seen.
Yeah.
Glory. So I think it's good that we're getting some character development from just awesome.
Yeah.
She's really playing that part well. I think we need to see a bit more of a dynamic between Ahsoka and Sabine.
Yeah.
Some things happen there. I'm getting so like were they lovers for a brief moment? Kind of vibe.
Yeah, they could have been.
It is hinted at in here. So
Yeah. Do you think part of the problem with something like Ahsoka is there's too many people like myself who haven't gone into the deep expanded universe?
I don't think that's I think let's give it a season.
Yeah.
That's nothing. Watching it in isolation away from looking at this. Yes, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I just want to see a bit. I want that kind of like the narrator.
Yeah.
Said that again, you kind of you come from a long line of Australians.
Yeah.
And I thought that was such a great idea because she was Anakin was Obi-Wan was quite
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, there's some mixed shit as far as
No.
she's very set, very too set.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it
Right.
and coming back to they need to well no because we actually saw it in last week's episode. It was a short episode, but the Ahsoka had dropped us there.
Yeah.
You know, when she was like use the force, and everything.
Yeah.
And it was like this isn't a teach right now, and right now we've got to fight.
Yeah.
I did like that scene. And then we got that beautiful shot of her.
Yeah.
Did I just say that? Because I always think purple, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Everything else. The Jedi nurse and everything.
Right.
You're not going to be able to see
Yes. Yeah. Ray Stevens, I think. Yeah. For me, he's been standout, one of the standout characters.
I like his pattern.
Yeah. She's good. Not think though they've kind of gone over a little bit of top a little bit with a lot of people surviving stabbed with a lightsaber.
I didn't see anything in the right.
Yeah.
People discussing that.
Right.
And they did show where it was nothing less to be. And somebody else got stuff in the
Right. Raven. Yeah. No, Revan. The one from OB. Everyone can OB. Reaver, that's the one. Yeah.
And then they showed the woman doing
Right.
Queen just goes into the center of the stomach
Right. Yeah.
So it's a straight stomach.
Right.
So that was the question. But all the questions are they used on the same as not on the body? And then I was discussion with someone else, and I said it makes a change from losing a hand.
Yeah, true.
There's far more people lost their hand.
Yeah. Reaver. Yeah.
I'm just wondering how that part of being that galaxy, that galaxy village is sort of like
Stab him.
I know, like when in the old movies, when they use it as a way of
Yeah.
being like an important thing, but that's sort of like a token of
You've lost, and I'm going to let you live with it. Yeah. Bit slap with the lightsaber. Yeah.
Choice.
And a few other limbs as well.
Actually, he lost the hand 3 times because you could chop it off.
Yeah.
I'll get one chop. Yeah. He could put scope. I'll be one.
In the bar. Yeah.
And it's like everybody does.
Yeah. Yeah. Stay away from it. Yeah. Yeah. Either or. Options are.
Even in the last
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this could stand out just things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looking at where the anatomy is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one thing.
And the appendix has some words in it. Is it? Okay. It's a good job I don't. Good job I don't. Good job I don't. Good job I don't know story about the human anatomy, isn't it? No, I didn't know that.
It was just 4th of July weekend.
Right.
I went. Felt like I needed to go.
Yeah.
And it was like just pure agony in my stomach. And then I was like crawled back into bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, "You're all right?" I said, "Yeah." I said, I think I let some disagrees with me.
Right.
So I took some tools and everything, and I still had the worst stomach ache. And then on the 4th of July weekend, I couldn't stop throwing. On Monday, I tried a little piece of barbecue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Couldn't stop throwing. I forget arms upstairs. I need to go to the hospital. And I went to the hospital and they said two girls wrapped around you. One's intrusion and incarcerated. I just said the word.
Well.
You know, I was incarcerated with
Hernia.
and the other one's coming to the side of it, so effectively these two hernias are twisting your stomach. And it's also caused something to be gross. It's also the swelling is also affecting your colon.
How long was you in hospital for then, mate?
5 days.
Right.
Yeah, in a bad way.
Yeah.
Some other
Right.
but you know, nothing can find us in a week.
Yeah. But you are on the mend, aren't you?
I'm back.
Good.
I was trying not to push it because, you know, I have the problem in my feet.
Yeah.
I'm getting checked regularly.
Right.
The good news is, you know, keeping my nerves for 12 years since the transplant.
Right. That's good.
It's still working at 100%.
Brilliant. Yeah.
There's no sign of it affecting. You know.
Yeah. $6 million man. We can rebuild him. Right. Right.
Between the two of us, we're bloody human beings. They've just just the sounds being badass as ever pieces. Yeah. We are the only baddies.
Yeah.
We just keep getting back up. My mum was like, yeah, you've always been. I've never called myself the hard. She always said, you've always been a bit of a hard. I like that.
Yeah.
I've always been tough.
Yeah.
I think that's like implies that you're always a bit of a bully.
Right.
You've always got me saying boxing, martial arts, and the arts, and you've always been tough.
Yeah.
Now you're taking piss. Going to stay down a little bit. This one hurt me mentally.
Yeah.
I've had enough.
Yeah.
I think that was the hardest part of it.
Right.
Every time I feel like I'm getting on the mending and something that feels that was a bit of a mental. I don't want to say trauma because
Yeah.
it wasn't that bad, but it was a bit.
Well,
you mate. I just watched everything Star Wars for 4 days.
Right for some.
Again, I watched season 6 and 7 now because Star Wars because they matter.
Yeah.
Rebels again, and then I watched Andor and Rogue One and the Mandalorians and Boba Fett, Mandalorian 2.5, and I still can't get into the visions ones. Some of them are still, but most of them are a mix. I did not like Tales of the Jedi.
Right.
It just seemed like it was reactions to we already know.
Right. I haven't watched any.
They're not. I'm not big on animated Star Wars. They have the ability to now to make the live shows as easily as they make the animated ones.
Yeah.
We'll wait. If it's quality, we will wait.
Yeah.
It's like I always said, the biggest problem with episode 8 was we knew that Carrie had passed away. We would have waited.
Yeah. Definitely.
I'm excited for the new movies.
Do you think they're going to get made though? We've had so many announced cancellations.
I think a lot of it now. Sometimes you've got to say it to yourself. Is it Disney or is it the directors? Because there's a lot of directors dropping out because they can't have their creative.
Yeah.
And I can see Disney being a bit twice shy because J.J. Abrams completely disavows the prequels.
Yeah.
He recreated Star Wars in his own way. He didn't create sequels.
Yeah.
He wanted to sort of like completely disavow the prequels. And he'd say I was making a sequel to my Star Wars. Well, you don't get to do that when you direct Star Wars.
No.
And I think that was the same with the creators of say Han Solo, whatever, and whatever would come in, and he basically did a good job of patching up a bad one.
Yeah.
I say this: give his daughter a movie.
Right.
She will do good things.
Yeah.
Tone down Filoni and Fauci a little bit.
I know who you mean.
It's been a long day.
That's right. I'll let you get off in a second if you want.
Tone down their traffic because Andor showed us one thing.
Yeah.
If it's quality, we'll wait.
Yeah.
And you see how quiet the internet was when that came out because nobody really had a valid criticism of it.
Yeah. No, it did. I think it did shut a lot of people up. But then some people might argue that the reason why there wasn't a lot of talk about it online is because not many people were watching it.
Because they were. It's like the one Mandalorians I talk something a lot. almost from the first episode, it was like, you can see that this show is failing, and I'm like, is it really though?
Yeah.
Because I have not heard a bad word said about it.
Mm.
And is it the fact that it doesn't get much? You see a lot of Star Wars on TikTok in particular.
Yeah.
Gets a lot of traction and a lot of talk about it, but then when you look at the naked lunch moment of it, it's only people saying I like it and other people saying I don't.
Yeah.
Going backwards and forwards. It's not like one person attacks it and then you get 500 posts defending.
Yeah.
And then one person says makes a post positive and you get 10. You get 100 people attacking it.
Yeah.
Whereas with Andor, it was sort of like, well, that was good.
Mm.
That was brilliant. I love the fact that they were prisoners were mass producing TIE fighters. And then that sort of like puts the seed in your head. Is that why TIE fighters are so shit? Because technically they should outfly an X-Wing.
Yeah.
But they don't have shields and they don't have a life support system.
Mm.
They're meant shit. So that put the idea into my head. Perhaps they are being made a little faulty.
Yeah.
I love the Resistance thing. I love the gold heist episode where we had we got the heist that the Han Solo movie didn't give us. It gave us a real heist.
Yeah. No, agree.
I really enjoyed it.
I'm a big fan of Andor. I thought it was brilliant. I loved. It was slow, but it was building something. And I think this is possibly something that I'm not getting with Ahsoka, because I've seen a little bit of Rebels, and I probably my expectation was a little bit more of a pacey show. But I think you're possibly right. They are developing it in a way that normally that haven't seen any of the other lore, the other content. Can you actually get into that universe as well?
And I would tell people to concentrate on the dialogue. It's not. I think there's been a fairly reasonable bit of action in this, because in the first two episodes we had that fantastic battle scene with Chopper and Hera.
Yeah.
And the some fantastic lightsaber dueling.
Yeah.
We saw like the one thing when I was watching the opening scene, I was like, okay, somebody's got to say something now, because I think before there was a real bit of dialogue from the South. We saw like 7 minutes into the first episode.
Yeah.
So it's that spaghetti western feel.
Yeah.
But it's only when I went back and actually looked at what was in the room.
Yeah.
There was a lot of information on the walls in the room there.
Right.
And she actually stopped and looked at him, so the audience got it.
Yeah.
And I think that was telling us how the show was going to go. I love the Stonehenge imagery. The dialogue and the imagery in it is action imagery and action dialogue without being an action scene. You're a writer, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's an action dialogue can be as important as the actual action itself.
Yeah, I think possibly being a little bit too critical on it. But it's just,
Give it a second watch.
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not going to watch it ever again. I'm bored of it. I would like to see how it finishes.
I think they're so saving some budget.
Yeah.
Because the CGI for that burglar must have been amazing.
Yeah.
They had to create that entire creature.
Yeah.
And the space battle scenes have been excellent.
Yeah, the only thing that I would say about the battle scenes was the tufts of smoke. And I said this earlier on the live. Now I know Star Wars isn't real, but I didn't think the detailing on the smoke was accurate, because it's in weightlessness, and I don't know. I just got a little bit. That doesn't look right.
Yeah, that is something that physicists could discuss 100 times over.
Yeah.
Better than with an eye.
Yeah.
When it comes to that.
Yeah.
But the only thing I can say is it depends where the smoke comes from, depends where the oil is in the fuselage.
But it's from, it was like they were in like the last episode, they're flying through and it was like flak. You had all this like the puffs of smoke in front where obviously they hadn't hit the target, but you're sending up flat. And I just kind of like, would that really happen like that in space? But as I say, I know it's
It
yeah,
could be 1,000 times more dangerous in space than it would be in land.
yeah, but it,
Because if you put flak up, it's coming back down on Earth.
yeah,
If you put flak up in space, it's not slowing down.
no,
So I would say, and if you think of the speed them jets are flying, and what a speck of dust can do to somebody in space.
oh yeah, absolutely,
So yeah, I would think flak would be amazing in space. It's too dangerous to use almost.
yeah,
But yeah, I'd be. So then again, you've also got to remember, my other things that I'm interested in, and I'm just reading a book where people are stopping vampires chasing them by essentially using a claymore mine filled with hemlock
right,
to stop the vampires, which I think is absolutely fantastic. But how do you stop the hemlock from shattering as soon as it goes boom?
yeah,
You know, you've got to sort of like say, okay, I'll forgive that because of the brilliance of the idea. You know, it's very hard for me to say anything bad about Star Wars because
I know,
I get so absorbed in it anyway.
yeah,
I'm not looking for any criticism. My biggest criticism with Star Wars fans is learn what the hell an Easter egg is and what a callback is.
yeah,
You know, like callback to something. It's not an Easter egg.
yeah,
An Easter egg is something outside of the plot. Outside of the story. Like Indiana Jones' whip being on the wall in Carbonite.
yeah.
In Andor, that's an Easter egg. You
I
know?
haven't noticed that actually.
Didn't you?
No,
Well, go back and look at that room. There's a lot of Easter eggs in that room.
yeah,
Yeah. Most importantly, one of the charms that is showing up
right,
is very important to the plot of Ahsoka.
right. And that's in Andor.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a reference to them because there's a reference to a race that come from outside the universe,
Right.
and it's referencing back to like pre-Jedi days, pre-Jedi days.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But alas, my battery is dying, so I'm
That's all right, mate. I'm just thinking.
send me your WhatsApp information, and as soon as I get WhatsApp downloaded, I'll give you that.
Yeah, and we'll certainly arrange that. I'd love to do it. All right.
See you later, sir. I'll call you later. Bye-bye.
All right. Take it easy, mate. See you soon.
Take it any way I can get it, mate.
All right. Speak to you later. All right. All right. And yeah, that's where I'm going to be ending this week's episode. Thank you so much for watching or listening, and I'll be back live next week. So take care of yourselves. If you want to support the channel, all you have to do is like, comment, and share on the videos. And if you want to support me personally, check out my books on the Amazon bookstore. Find them under my author name, which is Wayne W.A. Blinko. Or check me out online, wablinko.com. Links are in the description, and take care. I'll see you all soon. Cheers.